Bred to Win, brought to you by Inglis Digital, the tried, trusted and reliable market for online sales.
Hello, I'm Caroline Searcy. Welcome to the final edition of Bred to Win in Series 1 of 2021, coming to you from beautiful Kooringal Stud near Wagga Wagga in New South Wales. Coming up on this week's show, the archetypal black stallion, gorgeous gory bred prized icon, set to continue the great More Than Ready legacy with his stunning foals. We hear from Brendan and Joe Lindsay of New Zealand's Cambridge Stud as they prepare to welcome Group 1 winning sprinter Hello Youmzane this season. Plus Torryburn's former chairman of the Australian Turf Club, John Cornish, with a great story in Arrowfield Studs, the horse who made you love racing. First though, let's check in on the Aushorse news of the week.
Trying hard as Charm Star.
Dewey is Irish for prize, and the 3-year-old filly provided the best prize of all for young trainer Edward Cummings, securing his first Group 1 win in the Queensland Oaks. It was thoroughbred and human pedigrees to the fore as Ed Cummings continued the tradition of the Cummings clan through Jim, Bart, Anthony and Ed's brother James, with his first Group 1 success from his Hawkesbury base. Dewey, a daughter of Seamus Award and granddaughter of Snitzel, hails from the Fan Freluche family of champion sires in Costa de Lago and Flying Spur. And her dam Meerlust has also produced multiple stakes winner Baccarat Baby. Meerlust was bought for $22,000 through the Inglis Scone yearling sale by Matthew Irwin, who subsequently bred the Oaks winner. In Melbourne, a high-class off-season 2-year-old race saw all 3 place-getters with big careers ahead of them. Frankel's daughter from $3 million mare Princess Cope, Argentia, beat home Vivian by Written Tycoon from dual stakes winner Curtana. In third place with a meritorious debut run was Black Caviar's daughter by I Am Invincible, Invincible Caviar.
Anacteo is pouring on.
Unbeaten European champion Frankel also sired his first Epsom Derby winner on the weekend as the Charlie Appleby trained Adaya was dominant for the Godolphin team. His dam Anna Salai is by Debawi and a close relation to Widden Victoria's stallion National Defence from the family of Australian bred sires Helmet and Epaulette. The late Japanese super sire Deep Impact secured another European Group 1 win as Snowfall scored an incredible 16-length romp in the Epsom Oaks. From the Aidan O'Brien Coolmore team, the fillies from a Galileo mare, a group winner, best in the world, who's a full sister to Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe winner Found. Snowfall is now listed as favourite for this year's Arc in October. Sales topper at the Magic Millions National Yearling Sale was the Snitzel Walk with Attitude colt from John Muir's Millburn Creek, sold for $500,000 to Suman Hedge Bloodstock. Our G1 Goldmine analysis this week is of Darley's now New South Wales-based stallion Street Boss, interestingly crossed with another Darley sire, Exceed and Excel. Exceed and Excel is still in his early days as a broodmare sire, but produces 4.31% stakes winners to runners. But when crossed with Street Boss, that improves to an incredible 16%, including the likes of Hanseatic, Petite Falou and Triss. Street Boss will stand in the Hunter Valley for $55,000 this season, and with the breeding season rapidly approaching, G1 Goldmine and Bred to Win offer mare owners a special 50% off the usual $240 cost of a broodmare report that'll provide the top 40 stallions based on your mare. Simply contact G1 Goldmine with the promo code Bred to Win and let them help out your 2021 breeding plan. Breeding industry tax expert Paul Carazzo's Sport of Kings 2021 Horse Tax Talk is now being held as a webinar this Friday, June 11 at 10 a.m. It'll look at the 2021 budget and implications for the racing industry, plus many other topics for horse owners and breeders. Get in touch with Paul at carazzo.com.au. And while it's sad to lose them, it's always great to see a stallion live out a full and much-loved life, as was the case with Anglia, a magnificent son of Octagonal and the great filly English Wonder. Anglia died this week at the age of 22 at South Australia's Matrice Park. The Inglis graduate of the week is Satanta, the full brother to star sprinter and young sire Merchant Navy, a $2.3 million Inglis Easter yearling who's now a stakes winner. The son of Fastnet Rock and Legally Bay took out the listed Queensland Day Stakes at Eagle Farm. He was sold to Acres Farm as the second top seller at the Inglis Easter Sale in 2019 and is raced by a group including his breeder Chris Barham and session host Peter O'Brien. And fresh off the back of Inglis Digital's $600 by Curran winning at Flemington, Inglis has put together a mouth-watering catalogue for the early June online sale, which will commence final bidding at the earlier time of 12 noon on Wednesday, June 9. One of the highlights, Members Joy, a stakes-winning Hussain mare in foal to Zoostar, whose last two foals have sold for $525,000 and $350,000. Gorey Park Stud has a great reputation for breeding top-class stallions such as Northern Meteor, Hello Crown, Smart Missile and more. They're heavily supporting their homebred Group 1 winning 2-year-old and Victoria Derby winner Prized Icon standing here at Kooringal Stud in southwestern New South Wales. And other breeders are getting back on board off the back of some wonderful first foals. Well, Gus, it was just wonderful to see Prized Icon here today. We did see him briefly on the walker getting some exercise last night, but he really is, when you see him parade out here in the sun, the iconic, gorgeous black stallion.
Yeah, he's such a lovely horse, such a pleasure to have around. Everyone loves him and such a great temperament and perfect nature, really.
How have you seen him let down? I mean, we filmed him in the spring, but now, even more so, he's really turned into an absolute tank, hasn't he? He's a Derby winner, as we know, but he's so powerful as a Group 1 winning 2-year-old.
Yeah, he's a lovely muscled horse and he has just continued to thicken up over the last couple of years, and yeah, it's really eye-catching sort of individual.
And when you look at the way that he moves along, I mean, we filmed him in the spring galloping along with the weanlings, but here today, I mean, he just has that propulsion from behind. What do you see when you look at him? Because he looks to be very versatile in what he's throwing.
Yes, he is very versatile, I think, and such a lovely muscled horse. He's got great conformation, nice neat joints, good bone. He just looks more like a real sprinter than he is a staying horse, and I think that was probably more what he was best suited at, was more of that middle distance mile.
Well, he got out and ran as a 2-year-old. We know he placed in the Breeders' Plate behind Capitalist. He was third there, but he ran 7 times as a 2-year-old. He was really, really tough, winning the Fernhill as well as the Champagne.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he was never out of place. He was just such a great constitution and very tough sort of horse early on. He went to an Easter sale, turned around, came back from there and ran in the Breeders' Plate, which is a huge effort and just a lovely horse. I remember sitting at home watching him win the Champagne and thinking, God, I'd love to get a horse like him. Well, here he is, and what a thrill that Gorey's put him with us and supporting him.
And I know that they're going to be supporting him with some lovely mares themselves. Gorey, the Dam of Romantic Touch, Dearness, also a mare from the family of Comical Smile, the Dam of Smart Missile, and an El Prado mare out of the Quiet American family, a close relation to Brazen Bow. So it really is great that Gorey, they've bred so many good stallions, they know how to make a stallion work.
They sure do, and they've been very impressed. They've come down, had a look at the weanlings, and they've really gone out, especially to buy a few mares to send to Prized Icon this year. They sold quite a few of their own mares when there was a bit of a restructure a few years ago, but then they actually bought 2 weanlings off us at the Gold Coast, and they'll go through their system, and I'm really thankful that they're going to get really good opportunity. So that was a great thrill.
Well, I know Mike Barrera, as you say, was really enamoured with the foals. We'll see some of them in a minute as they've sort of continued to grow out here at Kooringal. But, you know, they've also bred these real iron horses such as Desert War, and that's what you see in Prized Icon. I mean, he was tough, he was sound, and you can see that in his physique.
Yeah, absolutely. And Goree have got a real name for doing that sort of thing. They've got beautiful big paddocks up there. You know, the horses grow out naturally, get their heads down, thicken up, and they put it on the racetrack, don't they? So, you know, a lot of their Smart Missile, Northern Media, Hello Crown, like a lot of really good horses have come from there. And Prized Icon's exactly the same. So, yeah, we're hoping for big things.
Well, looking at these weanlings here at Kooringal, Prized Icon Maltese Colt. So this is the half to Ancestry, who's now a dual stakes winner. He's been so exciting to watch. And Diamond Tathagata as well, a Skyline winner. Really lovely foal with good bone, that's strong behind and the deep girth. We actually showed him last spring as a tiny foal bounding around straight out of his box for the first time. But hasn't he developed beautifully?
Yeah, he has. And I mean, it's a tough time for these weanlings. They've just come out of handling. They're going into the depths of winter. It's, you know, they're looking as good as they can at the moment, but I expect they're going to really thicken up in the spring and really come on.
We looked at the Prized Icon Sempio Colt, a real powerhouse, this one. Really powerful, like a lot of the More Than Readies.
Yes, he is, and just beautiful moving horse. You know, he gets around the paddock nicely, he's beautifully balanced. Got a nice length of rein and good shoulder and just a really good type. So I'm thrilled with him.
And look, everyone loves a schnitzel. The next colt, this is from a schnitzel mare, Miss Cacciatore, of course by Prized Icon. Really sensible with that lovely action and just moves along really well.
He does move along nicely, yeah. The mare's done a good job so far. She's got stakes placed runner that won 5. Another winner in Hong Kong over a mile, and that sort of looks more like his sort of style, a bit more of a miler, but he's just a beautifully, as you said, beautiful moving horse, and yeah, really going to come into his own.
And then we saw this absolutely gorgeous colt from Dantane's Spirit. She's an I Am Invincible mare. Just has that huge back end. So again, when you're looking at the More Than Ready, who sired Golden Slipper winners, we know, of course, Sebring being the best of them and a great success at stud. But that bum, I mean, that is a sprinting 2-year-old sort of a physique.
It certainly is, isn't it? He's a very strong, very beautiful individual and just really well muscled. The mare was a very tough racehorse. She won 4. I think that I'm Invincible blood's obviously fantastic. So the mares are really starting to throw good types, and yeah, he's another good example.
And then the Moorings Capital weanling. So this is a half to Telecom Fighters, who's doing a fabulous job in Hong Kong, from a tough Song of Tara mare. So, you know, more leggy, so that more classic sort of type of a weanling.
Yes, and look, Telecom Fighters was bred on the farm by the Brothers War, and he's just broken the track record last week in Hong Kong, so that was a great thrill for his owners and breeders down on the south coast there. So this looks another good horse that, as you say, a bit more of a classic type. Telecom Fighters got over 1800, and I think the mare got up over a bit of ground. She was a city winner and won 10 races. So it's yeah, great thrill. They've got another good colt, and the mare's back in foal to him.
And I did love seeing in the paddock so many. I mean, you could drive around here at Kooringal, and I'm sure the same at Goree with the foals they would have. And they're almost black, they're almost yearlings as well now, these weanlings. So some really good vision of them in the paddocks here at Kooringal. You can spot them a mile away.
Yeah, I'm glad that brands turned out this year, because there's a lot that are very similar. So yeah, they're lovely types, and as I said, just good individuals, good bone, nice neat joints, beautifully balanced, and they all get around. They're very intelligent horses. When you're handling them, they just seem to get it after, you know, 1 or 2 goes, and a bit of leadership they certainly take to it and really enjoy their work.
And the other one was a real favourite of mine. So this was your firstborn Prized Icon from the Mossman mare Cosmic View. She was really sassy and beautiful as a foal and very, very confident coming up. But she did the same again now. So this is 9 months later when she's, as I said, nearly a yearling, and really fast too. She was full of confidence and getting out in front of that herd.
Yeah, she's a lovely, lovely filly, and spots you from a mile away for a scratch. So she bowls right up, full of confidence, and yeah, continues to develop nicely.
And incredible service fee too, considering, you know, what he's done, what he looks like, what he's throwing. But he's also so accessible here. I mean, where you are at Wagga Wagga is right in between so many major breeding centres.
Well, that's right. We're very close to Victoria. There's a lot of people around Bowral and places like that, Southern Highlands, that come down. Scone's not that far away either. And there's been mares coming out of there. Obviously, Goree can access here, and there's a few other places around locally, like Newhaven Park and Twin Hills, that aren't far up the road either. So it is very accessible, and I think Prize Icon's fee, Guree allowing us to set it at 11,000, it's just giving breeders a really good opportunity to access a horse at really good value. And I think he's got every opportunity of coming out and surprising people and being right up there at the top of the size list.
You can tell you really love this horse.
Yeah, he's a fantastic horse and we love having him at the property. We're very grateful for Guree's support and we're looking forward to seeing him get Group 1 winners like himself.
Prized Icon, just incredible value and certainly amongst the best of his generation. Coming up on the show, the Cambridge Stud Performance of the Week, and we catch up with Cambridge owners Brendan and Joe Lindsay. Cambridge Stud Performance of the Week was in the listed Castletown Stakes at Wanganui, where a Stearns 2-year-old filly Danger Strikes was successful. The New Zealand bred filly is from Stakes Place Strike, a mare She Is Striking, and is a Stearns second stakes winner, while he also sired the Kingstar farm bred 2-year-old winner at Morfettville on Saturday, Somewhat Fabulous. That was the son of Medalia Doro's 8th first crop winner, while Mainstay became his first North American winner on Friday. She Is Striking had an Almanzor yearling sold through the Inglis Classic sale this year for $360,000. Cambridge Stud in New Zealand has been home to some of Australasia's great breed-shaping stallions, and there's plenty of excitement ahead of the 2021 breeding season with the imminent arrival of star UK sprinter Hello Zane. I caught up with Cambridge owners Brendan and Joe Lindsay on the Gold Coast to hear more news from this historic farm.
Probabeel wins it, a half Arcadia Queen.
Brendan, welcome back to Australia. It's great to see some of the Kiwis here for another sale, but it's been an incredible year, hasn't it? So many things you've achieved on the farm and so much to look forward to with spring approaching.
Oh, there sure is, Caroline, and 17 months since we've been in Australia, and we're in Sydney a few weeks ago to see our family in Sydney, and gosh, it's hard for everybody, you know, missing friends and family, and it's great to be at the sales complex and feel like we're back in it again. And with all the excitement at Cambridge Stud, it's nice to come over and share that with our Aussie friends.
We had, of course, Henry Plumtree talking the other week about Sword of State, who you've secured at Cambridge when he retires, and he talked about his potential spring program. But how exciting to have a Group 1 winning 2-year-old by Snitzel to stand at Cambridge Stud.
Yes, and look, we're hoping that he can come to Australia in the spring and put his hand up, and wouldn't it be great to win an Australian Group 1 signature race, and then he's the real deal for New Zealand, and it'll put us on a different stage with a Snitzel son standing in New Zealand. It's exciting.
And really good news to see the book full sign going up for both Almanzor and Hello Zane.
Yes, and look, we were keen to get those horses done early, and the reason being is we wanted to get them done out to our breeders that have supported us right from year one. So we knew we could put Almanzor's probably his fee up a little bit because he was so popular at the sales, but we went back to everybody that supported him in the first 3 seasons and said, look, you know, book now, and we've got our new boy, Hello Zane. Now both horses are limited to 140 services because they both stand in France, and that's planned so they don't wear these poor fellows out, because sometimes they have to serve them more than once. So we want to send him back in the condition that he came down. And Hello Zane, I'm the only person that's actually seen Hello Zane.
Wow.
So I went to England and saw him and made the decision to buy the Southern Hemisphere rights. But that's exciting. We've filled his book up, and nobody's actually seen the horse except for me. So it is exciting.
Skeptical and Hello Zane fighting it out.
It feels like it's been so long since you announced he would come, and of course he then won at Royal Ascot since then, another Group 1 to his name, and he's by that, you know, by Kodiak, the Danehill Sideline, the Invincible Spirit family. I mean, there is just so much upside. He's really exciting to see, not far from arriving.
Not far from arriving. He arrives on the 28th of July, and I can assure you there will be a lot of anticipation of when he arrives. We'll go down to the quarantine centre as soon as he gets and have a look at him, but you know, it is a long time. It is over 12 months, and it was July last year when he won at Royal Ascot. And it seems like there's so much happened in our world and everybody else's world since July last year.
And Almanzor himself, of course. I mean, Wootton Bassett now coming to Coolmore in Australia, so there's another big feather in his cap too, the sire of Almanzor. And we remember, of course, that Ifrage line, Melody Bell, a 14-time Group 1 winner out of an Ifrage mare. So much upside to the family. And wow, haven't they sold incredibly well as yearlings, and then again now with the new weanling season.
Oh, look, you know, it's incredible. He actually stamps his horses, Almanzor, and when you come to the farm and see them, he really, really does stamp them, and the reports are fantastic. He's had 2 starters, 1 winner in France and a second in Ireland just the other night. How can you start any better? I don't know. Look, I think, you know, we're in for a great journey. It's been a baptism of fire for Joe and I the last 3 years, but boy, we're really starting to enjoy it now.
Joe, it's obviously been a really interesting year, but as we were saying with Brendan, there's been a lot going on the farm.
There's been certainly a lot going on the farm. We're putting together a heritage centre, which has been under construction for probably the last 18 months at least. And we're nearly there. It mainly is going to be a digital museum rather than just photos on the wall. And that's coming along really good. To the left, we start with the heritage part of it, with Sir Patrick and the 2 stallions. And as you move around the centre, then it comes into the present and what hopefully will happen in the future. But it's mainly about the two stallions, Sir Tristram and Zabeel. So, and all of their progeny and their Group 1 winners. We managed to get one of the original Melbourne Cups from Empire Rose. Wonderful. We were given that on loan for the museum, but we've also been allowed to make replicas of some of the other Group 1 cups as well and trophies. Right. So they'll be on display as well. Everyone's just quite excited and everyone's so positive about what's going on at the farm. You know, with the weanlings that have been so successful, we had the weaning sale in Karaka. We're really thrilled with that. Especially the yearling sale that Almanzor did.
Incredible.
So well. We weren't expecting that. I don't think a lot of others were as a first season sire. But, so we're really excited about that. The staff, you know, we have a number of staff who live on the farm now as well. And within the farm staff, we've had a few babies as well.
Wonderful.
So that's really, you know, so it's a very, very friendly atmosphere and everyone's really excited about what's going ahead.
And here now, looking at this sale, Magic Millions with the mares, you need to buy the mares to support the stallions.
Yeah, so yeah, stallions need mares, so, and some good ones. I keep saying to Brendan that we should embellish a date with some really good mares.
Yes, yes. Well, that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. You know, to get him, you know, like that question mark about, you know, because he's a $4,000 stallion, yeah. But he needs to have that, have some really good mares for him as well, just to give him that chance of having, and I think he'll do well because he himself is a beautiful looking animal. His groom, Davo, he had looked after Savabeel as well as O'Reilly.
That's right.
And he says he's a spitting image in character and look as Savabeel. You know, everyone's really excited on the farm about what his progeny are going to produce.
Probabeel a length, Arcadia Queen.
And of course the racehorses, it's hard to top Probabeel. You must be just so proud of her too.
She's an unbelievable horse. She got off the plane when she came back from Australia just in the last trip over, and she walked out of the stables and Joe led her out with our granddaughter and our dog, and she sniffs around. She is so relaxed, and she does not lift her head when she put her in the paddock, and she just eats non-stop. She put on 35 kilos in 2 weeks.
Wow. So
you can see she's a happy horse. So we're going to bring her back in the spring and aim for so nice races in Melbourne. We've got Carmelas, a Group 1 winner. We've got Let's Be Glam, a Group 2 winner in Melbourne. Veneza won a Group 2. We've got all our queens all in the paddock, and it's so exciting for Joe and I to go out and see them. And look, we're looking forward to the season like everybody else, but we pray for good tracks, good rides, and fit horses, and let the legacy carry on.
Great supporters of Bred to Win, so a big thank you to Brendan, Joe, Henry and the Cambridge Stud team. Coming up on the final, Bred to Win for Series 1 in 2021. In Arrowfield Studs, the horse who made you love racing, Torryburn's John Cornish.
This segment brought to you by Arrowfield Stud, the brand worth its weight in gold.
Caroline, it'll probably be a long story with a lot of horses involved. You asked me to single out just one, and I'll do that very happily. Wife and I raced horses, I suppose, for 40 years, and there have been many beauties, and you get too attached. You know that better than anybody. But it doesn't have to win Group 1 horses to be the horse you love. This one won several Group 2s and 3s. He was a grey, he was called Presently. I suppose his career finished about 7 or 8 years ago, and he's out at Torryburn talking about it with all his mates. So, yeah, we love him. He had one, all horses have one unusual trait, and his was when he got to the front and saw Pam on the rail, he would turn his head sideways and say g'day.
Oh, that's brilliant. It's the personality that makes you want to look after them for life, isn't it?
And of course, you know, people that don't have a lot to do with horses like you and I don't believe those sort of stories, but yeah, just before the winning post, he'd always turn his head, see if she was hiccup, and then win, stretch out. But look, they've all got a personality, haven't they? And some are bad boys, some are good boys, some are naughty girls.
Yes.
But he was one that stuck out.
Yeah.
And he's now in with young horses, teaching them, being a male nanny.
Yeah.
And he's going really good with them, yeah.
And that's the beauty, that you can, if you look after them for life, you can just go out there and love looking at him for the rest of his life.
No, that's what we do. Well, I do now. But yeah, no, and it's when you're coming up the paddock on a gator or something, he knows it's you straight away, you know, and you'll call the other old blokes over and we'll have a chat. I love that stuff, you know, I love it.
That's the final Bred to Win for Series 1 in 2021. We'll be back in early August profiling some fantastic new sires and looking at the first foals from some champions of the turf. And don't miss next Monday night as Thoroughbreds Are Go returns at 7:30 p.m. on Sky Thoroughbred Central, giving owners and the equestrian world great information about caring for thoroughbreds away from racing. I'm Caroline Searcy. I look forward to seeing you again then.
Bred to Win, brought to you by Inglis Digital, the tried, trusted and reliable market for online sales.